Hello, we have a lot of exciting updates this month, so let's start. And first really important update is ability to do SQL scripting in Databricks. So as you see now, we can now create compound SQL statement with begin and end command. And inside of it, we can put for loops, case statements, iterate, a lot of things related to error handling, iterate. Also, we can leave, like exit the compound statement. And this all new SQL features are now as beta in public preview. So soon you will have ability to test it. And it's a really important update because it will make migration from legacy systems much more easier. Another update is tabs, which you see here, and everyone can switch on now tabs. They are universal for SQL Editor now and notebooks. If you want to switch them on, and I guess probably you want to do that, you need to go to your user settings and go to developer, and then you need to scroll down, and there is option tabs for notebook and files. And after that, you will have new tabs experience. And these tabs are really amazing and are working really fast. In fact, we can call them soft tabs. Another updates are related to AI. There are a lot of new features coming related to agent framework. So now you can create agents in Databricks and it's in general availability. And there are a lot of new features, and I will just point a few of them. My favorite one. So one of my favorite one is that you can debug execution of function from agents. So usually it takes a bit long time because agent need to execute SQL code, but with that debugger, it's much more easier to check how much every step takes and also to debug errors. So it's a really nice improvement. Another update is related to the fact that agents can now call external systems through HTTP. So to establish this connection first for agent, first we need to define that connection and register it in Unity catalog. Why this definition of HTTP address is important? Generally, usually when you have production environment or access to production data, you don't want to whitelist every URL. And this governance to govern that endpoint through Unity catalog is really good because then, for example, administrator know what could be whitelisted, and also it will be included in lineage. So recently there was new function introduced, which is select HTTP request, which is sending requests to external system and getting the response. We can see that we successfully triggered the post request and we got status code 200. And then the select HTTP request function, we can register inside our custom function. And that custom function, then we can add to LLM model as a function which will trigger external address. So let's see how it's working. So first of all, that connection was registered and we can see now in connection, as I mentioned. So we can see here is our new connection alert. That connection is to request bin. And then if we go to, for example, to Playground, when we want to create own model, then we can add that function. This is the function which we just created, rise alert. We can add that function and we can try to use this. So we can say to LLM, rise alert that server is burning. And let's see what is happening. So first LLM is checking available function and found that there is function rise alert, even we haven't specified this in prompt. And then this agent is invoking that function with alert text. service is burning. And then the agent got response to 100. So it really works amazing, and we can do a lot of custom implementation using that possibility. And then when we implement that agent's function, then we can export that LLM and create own model. So that was that update. And another update is related to Genie. So another update around AI. So in Genie, we have possibility to upload files now, but first take a look to preview that file. So in volumes, we can now preview the files. So for example, if we click image, we got this image. If we click JSON, we can see the JSON, and it's really nice visualized here. And we can also preview CSV. And that CSV, actually, we have also on my drive. And now it's possible to upload files directly to conversation with Genie. Why this is important? Because there are a lot of use cases that analysts, for example, talk with Genie with data model, which Genie is consuming. And for example, say, show me products data set. And then Genie display that product data set. But for example, we do some nodes, some manipulation, and then we want to join that product table with, for example, our file where we put some additional information. Actually, here I put the number of items which we have. So we can just drag and drop and upload file now to Genie. So let's wait a few seconds for upload. It's thinking, and ask Genie, please join product CSV with my products table. And then if everything goes smoothly, it will combine both tables. And so let's see. Yes, and it managed to join our manually made CSV with that product table, and we can see number of items here. So it's really nice feature, especially for data analytics. Another update is related also to AI, and now we can use REST API to communicate with Genie Workspace. And it is a really nice option because we can really easily create custom application using out-of-the-box Genie. So there are a lot of comments available. I think more to come. So we can, for example, get Genie Room. So that Genie Room is Xshop, which I've just created. Then we can start conversation. We are sending here message, hi Xshop. Then we can create new message. So here is message, how many X do I have? Or we can get message, and there are another comments available to get, for example, generated SQL by Genie. But here we ask that question, how many X do I have? And what I really like in that behavior, when we go through UI now, and we will go to our chat, we can see that conversation which we did through API here visualized as UI. So it's a really nice integration. That's all my update related to AI. Now let's talk about Lakeflow. When you go to jobs, to data engineering part, and you click create, you can see that there is that DLT pipelines, which are now called ETL pipelines, jobs were combined together. But now you have third option, ingestion pipeline. And this is that entry point for Databricks connectors, which are natively built in Databricks. We can see now one in UI, but actually there are now three of them. Just one is visible in UI, Salesforce, but there is also Workday and ServiceNow. So it's a really popular application used in big enterprises. If you are not familiar, some big companies really often use that too. And you can consume now that data through built-in pipeline, which is handling slowly changing dimension and doing that things incrementally. And also, if you go to create connection here, you can see that, for example, Workday reports has been added here. Next update is related to streaming. There are a lot of improvements to streaming, and one of them is possibility of consuming views as a stream. So here is example: we create table, then we create view based on that table. Let's insert few records to our table, and then we can consume that view, which we are pointing here, demo view, as a stream. So basically, that view is acting as a filter in streaming. So it's a really nice solution for some architecture, and we can wait here a bit and see the result of that stream. And we can see that it correctly read data from our view because we can see here the streaming records. And another update is related to administration. If we go to account console in setting, we can see token report. So it's placed to manage all tokens generated in Databricks. And it's really useful to do some governance and monitoring how tokens are used and by who. So it's really nice, and I think that page will be quite popular among account administrators. Another update is related to binding. What is binding? Binding is that it was popular for catalogs, that we select to which workspaces the catalog can be bind, so be visible. And now that binding was extended, that if we go to external locations, for example, credential, we can select in which workspaces that external location can be assigned to. Because before, for example, when you are administrator, you saw in every workspace all external locations mapping or all credentials mappings. And now you can click here, assign to workspaces, and administer this, and it makes sense because usually you register, for example, external location for catalog only for some of workspaces, for example, for development one, test one, or production. So it's a really, really nice solution. And of course, you can do that through UI, but also I checked that it's possible to do the bindings through CLI comments, and we can test it. So when you open terminal, let's test that external location which we just saw. It was called files. And we can see the binding which is there to that workspace. So it's really good to administer. Of course, you can also administer it through Terraform or Databricks SDK. Another important update is related to describe extended, because now you can use describe extended as JSON. It's really useful because that JSON has stable schema, which you see now, and the normal describe extended for programmatical usage can be changed because there is no stable schema. And if you are using describe for any programmatical use cases, you need to use this as JSON because there is a long schema and it is documented and it will be stable. So here is a few examples how you can use that describe as JSON. So usually use it in fact in Python to parse somehow that data. Also it's JSON, but I checked that it can be easy changed to variant type. So here is as a string, but here you can see as variant type, or you can do some manipulation with that, yes, to select just part of that JSON, or some other operation, like for example, to check your schema for something. I saw a lot of usage of describe, but before we use that normal describe from data frame, and here is this AS JSON. And the last update, which is really important, is automatic liquid clustering. What is that? Before we use liquid clustering, which is better than partition in most cases, and we had to specify columns, yes? Still, for use cases when you really know which columns will be used, it's really good, but sometimes, especially when we have tables used by analytics, in Databricks, when people write on SQL Warehouse queries non-stop, we cannot predict what will be used. So that's why that option is really good, because it will read query history, read and write patterns, and decide how to split our database and optimize based on that query pattern. But of course, if you're using cluster by auto, you need to remember that there have to be processes which will do that liquid partitioning, which is optimized. And in fact, that process have to be run by predictive optimization, because it's collecting statistics about your queries and updating that data constantly. So reach out to your administrator to enable predictive optimization if it's not yet enabled, and then you can use that cluster by auto for that use cases. And that's all update for this month. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.